Words are useful for their purpose, but they are no substitute for brains.
All right, here we go.
I have to say, well done, Ray. Well done. Well played, my adversary. Well played.
Phoenix isn't gay, but if he was, he'd pick Freemo.
Oh yeah, he'd be living down there with you in the bunker, man. Woo!
Once you go free, you always do the Z.
Like one day of not going to Duncan, and you could get a controller, a new Xbox, possibly even a cord.
And now your hosts back from Dunkin' Donuts.
Welcome to BGFG, episode 450. I'm your host, Chris Phoenix, and joining me, as always, my brother from another mother, Mr. Freemo Z.
Howdy.
How are you doing this week, sir?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
Good. Good. Happy Father's Day to you.
Is that today?
Yeah, it is today. I didn't realize it either.
Okay. Well, let's get this wrapped up before my surprises begin here at the house.
Oh, well now, I guess we will. Let's get into this week's news, because there is a lot of stuff this week. A lot. Well, here we go. Here we go. BGFG News. You heard it here third. So first up, there was a little announcement over at Cupertino. What?
Sorry, I had a cough there.
Did you? You had a little thing?
Yeah. It sounded like I said Potter. I didn't.
Oh. So before we even get started with the Apple's WWDC, I just want to make it clear that Freemo and I are on opposing sides on this a lot of times. And, well, I'm about to say a couple of things and announce several things that Apple released. And about 15 times during this, Freemo's going to be thinking, if he doesn't say, that's already been done on Android. And he's not wrong. Apple does this all the time where they'll come out with something, a technology or a software that somebody else has already done. Huh?
You know how you're all about the closed universe of Apple?
Yes. The synergy.
Okay. And, privacy, data concerns, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Apple sitting on how much cash?
Like 3 trillion.
3 trillion in cash. I wonder if that's from selling any of the data that they keep locked down so tightly.
No. No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No.
It's just a theory.
Of course it is. So the WWDC.
Feel free to rebut and debunk that with facts.
I don't have any. I wasn't prepared for this.
You can't debunk that. You know you can't.
So Apple had their
some encouraging Apple news.
Yes. So AI was everywhere at the Worldwide Developers Conference. Everywhere. And they're calling it, as only Apple would, they're calling it Apple Intelligence instead of artificial intelligence. I mean, why would they bother calling it anything else?
That is smart branding. I get it. Makes sense.
Right. So there's a lot that they covered, and a lot of it is good. It's interesting. I like the idea. We've talked about it before with AI on the show, where you and I are both on the same page with too much, too fast. We don't need to have full AI, but machine learning is phenomenal, and it helps out in a day-to-day life. Everything from finding new ways to cure diseases to, your day-to-day life, just going shopping, things like that. It's going to make it easier. Here's some of the highlights from the Worldwide Developers Conference. First, you got Apple's iMessage. They now are going to support RCS, making it easier to text to Android people. That was a problem for a while. They also have an option to send a message at a later date and time. If you're into that sort of thing, maybe you want to send something later. I don't know.
You
The
wanna
App
be
Store.
the first one to tell someone Happy Father's Day at 12 in 1 second.
Oh yeah,
AM,
good point.
but
Good
you
point.
don't want to be awake to do it.
That's. I didn't even think of that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, of course it is.
Good.
I came up with it.
Oh yes, that's. So the App Store, there's going to be new policies and tools to make developers happier and make them more money. You have iOS 18, which is coming out on the phones. You're going to be able to arrange apps on the home screen. You're going to be able to customize buttons. New text effects like italicize, bold are going to be in the text messages. You're going to be able to lock and hide apps. So that app you got for your your marital aid can now be hidden so that nobody else can see it. You're going to have mailbox improvements, which is a long overdue improvement. The Photos app update, including cleanup, which will remove background people and things, which Android has had for a while. Chat GPT integration. You're going to have Genmojis, which will allow you to take and create an emoji from any picture in your library. So if you snap a picture of somebody that you just met and you start chatting with them on text, you can now create an emoji for them off the picture. You're going to have the ability to record and transcribe phone calls. I'm thinking that one has to be illegal somehow. Like there's going to be a beep that goes on in the background, or, I mean, I know for a while
It can't be illegal. It's Apple.
it's got to do something. Then it's got to do something, because recording conversations is illegal as far as I know. You can't record somebody's conversation without them knowing. You're not even saying anything.
It's Apple.
Okay.
It's gotta be legal.
Apple TV. They're going to have something called Insight.
I've given up. I'm officially all Apple.
Oh, that is such a crock of crap. That is not
They're
true.
going to own it all eventually anyway, so might as well get on board now.
I mean, that is kind of true. The Apple TV itself, you're going to have a new update, which is going to have Insight, which is very much like Amazon's X-Ray, which I love. Anytime you're in a TV show or a movie, you can pause it, and on the bottom of the screen will come up, at least on the Amazon one, will come up with the actors that are in the scene, and you'll be able to look at the actor and find out what else they were in. It's very clean, very easy. It's one of my favorite features on the Amazon app.
It's called X-Ray.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Siri,
Apple's
maybe
going to be
not.
doing that now?
Yeah, yep. Apple's going to be doing that on the Apple TV called Insight. Siri is going to apparently finally actually answer your damn questions and not just give you a website every time you ask anything. Like, I don't know, how many ounces are in a quart? And it goes, here, I found this on the web.
Siri is now able to access Chat GPT, you think?
I think it's more of the Apple intelligence, the AI that they're inputting. I think ChatGPT is becoming the Kleenex of the AI world, where everybody says ChatGPT, regardless of what type of AI it is at all. That's the only thing they equate to AI is ChatGPT. Wouldn't you agree? Kind of like the facial tissues have become Kleenex.
Yeah, or Band-Aid.
Yeah, exactly the same thing. We're now going to have a password app on Apple. Instead of using Keychain, you can actually have a password app managing all of your passwords across all your devices in the Apple ecosystem. You're going to have Smart Script, which I thought was really cool for iPad. It's going to use machine learning, making your lines straighter and understanding and changing the way that you write. So you're going to be writing, but at the same time, it's going to be leveling everything out and adjusting the script so it looks more legible. And then calculator for iPad, because iPad never had a calculator, which is just the weirdest thing. You'll be able to take math notes on it, as well as using the scientific calculations on it. Then you have Mac OS Sequoia, which is for their desktops and laptops. Lots of AI in that. You're going to be able to do phone mirroring, control your phone from your computer. You don't even have to unlock your phone as long as it's nearby. It's your phone. You'll be able to control it and answer messages if you need to. And then one of the other things is satellite messaging, which I thought was kind of cool. When you have no signal, iOS will allow you to text via satellite. You'll have to keep your phone pointed in the direction of the satellite. The little image will come up on the screen and keep it in almost direct sight but nobody can answer on whether there's an extra charge for that. I can't think it's going to be free. You know what I mean? Like, I can't think that.
Not if they're using Starlink.
No, because Elon's going to want money for that.
If anybody other than Apple is going to get their nickel, it's going to be Elon.
Yes. Another thing is tap to cash, which strikes me as odd because we've all been able to do that for a while, but now you're going to be able to use it with Apple Pay. Tap the phone, pay someone without sending personal information. Welcome feature, but again, I'm going to have to answer all the old people.
I thought I'd be able to tap my phone and money would come out.
Wouldn't that be nice? Just keep tapping, 20s pop out. That'd be great. I'm going to have to deal with all the older people that are thinking that they're going to be on a bus or a subway or a train, and people are going to be rubbing up against them and taking their money from their phone. So I'll have to. I'm looking forward to that part. AirPods, another feature that I think is going to go by the wayside and not actually work out well as they think, is the old AirPods are going to have head gestures now. Just like, you can answer, you can shake your head no to not answer a phone call, or shake your head yes to answer a phone call through your AirPods. That should be great for people that are listening to music and moving around with it. That should be wonderful. I can't see how this is going to not fail. It's just.
Yeah, I wonder how many metal music lovers are going to end up answering all their spam calls now. What?
Exactly.
No, I don't want.
I'd like to speak to you about your insurance. Yeah.
I want to get back to my song.
I'm sure I'm missing a lot of things from the WWDC, but it was a 4-day event. I mean, this is just the highlights of little things. The big takeaway is that AI is going to be integrated pretty much everywhere, and every company's doing that. But it does look like Apple's going to be handling AI a little bit better than Microsoft is, I can tell you that. Because CoPilot Plus is a huge security risk.
Yeah, we kind of sort of
Called it.
Talked about it a little bit. What was it, maybe 2 weeks ago? But
yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's CoPilot. Well, recording everything.
Apple pretends really, really well like they care, which is nice. Microsoft just doesn't care.
No,
they don't care if you know that they don't care.
Nope. It's called Recall. It's part of the CoPilot Plus program. Records everything on the screen. We've talked about it before. It's great for folders. Apple does it, but not so good when you're typing your passwords or other credentials on the screen, because again, that's taken. And with the amount of people that get compromised by allowing remote access, this is not a good idea. Before they were looking for an Excel spreadsheet with passwords on it. Now they're just going to have to go to one folder, pull the plain text file of all the stuff that you've typed in the past 3 days. So I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea at all. The good news is that since the article, Microsoft has made
just a little tip, people. And if you need help doing this, feel free to send us a text via the website. If you're going to keep an Excel spreadsheet with all your passwords, do me a favor.
What's that?
Open up the location where the file is stored. Right click, select rename. Okay. And change the file extension.
Change it.
Yeah. To something just obscure. Hit 3 keys on your keyboard and boom, you're done. All right. You have to have it. Yeah. First, you have to have it set to where the file extension is showing, but then rename it.
Right.
Take the .xls off and put in whatever you want to put. Mm-hmm. Just hit 3 random keys. All right.
Right.
That file, you know what it is. You can still right click it and open with Excel and it will work. But if someone gets to your computer, they're not going to know what the hell it is. Unless, of course, you did name it all my passwords.
And then you can make an appointment to come see me, where I'll explain to you how to change it back and actually get everything open because you lost it and you can't remember what. Oh, look, the good news is that Microsoft did backpedal a little bit.
And after you visit Phoenix, I'll get my 15% kickback. So please.
Correct. Microsoft backed out on CoPilot a little bit, where now it's going to be opt-in as opposed to opt-out.
I can't wait for the day where someone shows up at your counter and goes, This guy Mosey online told me to do this.
That would be like, yeah, the guy's an idiot. You shouldn't listen to him. They also are rethinking recall. So right now, recall is on the back burner. This was just a day ago where Microsoft said that they're not going to do that, which, hey, look, that's fine by everybody else. So moving on to something that's a little bit closer to me, which makes me chuckle, is Best Buy is something everybody should keep on their radar. While all other retail diversify Best Buy is the last big box electronics retailer. It really is. But as you've seen in recent years, it's going a little bit downhill. There's no more specialty salespeople, and often there's not even enough people on the sales floor, even for the basic customers.
No, I
And
love
recently-
going to Best Buy now. I can walk around and look at the things I want to look at without being accosted by like 8 different people.
Really? That's not the take that I get a lot of times. I'd like to talk to somebody about the product I'm looking at.
No, I usually know what I'm looking for and already know.
Okay, that's fair.
There. So
Well, they just recently
I don't
did
want to waste my time talking to somebody that knows less than me.
You can click on the link in the show notes to see exactly what they did, but they've done another round of layoffs, cutting even more sales staff. This on top of the layoffs.
I can't believe they got rid of the in-home designers.
Yes, it's they last year they cut.
Can't believe that was a thing to begin with, but
you'd be surprised as to how popular it was. This on top of the 30%.
I've never been at an income level where that was an option. So
yeah, me neither. But there is a lot of the house flippers use it. The people that are flipping houses, they'll go in there and they'll design an entire kitchen or something. But last year, the point of the story is that last year they released 30%. They let go of 30% of their staff, and in-home home agents earlier this year for your computers, and now the designers, like Freemo was saying, the majority of the phone support, which is now directly overseas call centers, and they also laid off the majority of the team that handled all of the remodels and resets in the stores. So now they're cutting everybody. Designers were more or less the people that the house flippers would use. Home advisors would be the ones that you would go to, like if you came into a store and you said that you're having a problem with your Wi-Fi, they can have somebody go out to your house and they can take a look and see where the signals are, where the best spot to put your router and things like that is. The ones that stayed were told that they would be taking a serious deduction in pay, which I thought was a huge slap in the face. That's huge. Like almost making half. They let go of a lot of people that were it seems like anybody that had over 20 years of seniority was let go automatically. That's exactly the way. They can say whatever they want, but that's exactly the way it seems. And those sales are down for the 10th consecutive year. Somehow the stock went up. So the investors are of course very happy, and nothing's ever going to change. Because the investors are making money.
Because all they did was fire a bunch of people to bring their numbers in line.
Yep.
So that the shareholders are still getting their dividends.
Yeah.
So they don't care. They're like, great, I got some more dividends this quarter. Eventually, they'll sell the company off, and the shareholders will get, they'll get their money because whoever buys them will give them stock in whatever company is buying them.
It does seem like they're taking a page out of the Circus City Fries book. It's when you get right down to it, as the last big box technology retailer, yeah, I can get that same stuff on Amazon, sure, and have it delivered to my house, great. But there's times where you want to go, like, you don't know how a keyboard is going to react, or how you're going to react to a keyboard on a laptop that you're going to be typing on every day, all day, until you go down to the store and you type on it for a few minutes. You don't know, how big that TV is going to.
I'm just saying, the person looking at that number on their screen, that their Best Buy stock, they don't really care what's happening with Best Buy as long as that stock is doing what they want it to do.
Correct. Which I think when you stop serving your customers and start serving your investors, that's when the company goes downhill, in my opinion. Because now you're focused on the wrong thing, completely the wrong thing. So
Yeah, and they're stuck in that loop. They're going to continue to have to try and find ways to cut cost.
Yep.
So that they make their quarterly projections, and I mean,
everybody's happy.
their sales have been down for 10 years, but their stock hasn't taken a hit. What does that tell you? It tells you that 10 years ago, there was so much fat in the Best Buy system that they've been able to continuously just keep cutting fat for 10 years without making any real changes. Just keep cutting the fat, keep cutting the fat. And the people that have been doing the work are still there doing the work, and they're still getting paid shit.
And they're doing double the work.
Yeah.
But the thing that really bothers me the most about that is that if you look at like videos, like one of the links for this, when you go to the link in the show notes, there was a link that I also had found that was showing a video from maybe 10 years ago, maybe, where people were going in and you had specialty people. The biggest example I would give to you would be photography, cameras like Nikons and all those. I don't know anything about cameras, like nothing. As much tech that I know diddly squat about cameras. So when you were able to walk into a Best Buy, one of the few places that still sells good high-end cameras, you go in there.
Too, because Apple's cameras are the best on the market.
Oh, stop.
And they come in this neat little square package.
Yes, just hear me out though. You would walk into a Best Buy, and at the time, maybe even Circuit City. I can't remember, but you would walk into a Best Buy, you'd walk into the camera department. There was a gentleman there or a woman there that would, a salesperson that would have so much knowledge in cameras that you could ask them any questions and they would work in that area exclusively almost and answer all your questions. And that just doesn't exist now. It just doesn't. Nobody knows anything. You have people going, the one person that's on the sales floor in the morning is going between TVs, appliances, computers, gaming. I've even seen them, diversify into the mobile department. So it's, and when you start cutting more and more people, what do you have left to cut? Like, what are you going to have left? I don't have an answer.
I mean, like I said, eventually Best Buy will get broken into pieces and sold off, and
yeah. No, well, let's continue on with our summer of covers, and we'll get into this week's music, which I've been on a Stone Temple Pilots run lately.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I found a CD. I had to actually put it in the car because
one of my favorites by them.
Oh yeah, mine too. I found a CD, and because my car is older, the Bluetooth is starting to not work properly. So I happened to pop in the CD the other day to listen, and I forgot how much I enjoy Stone Temple Pilots. This is a cover by Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. This is back in 2013 at the Hard Rock. He's covering Dead and Bloated, which is a great track unto itself. So we'll catch you on the other side for some gaming news and some really wild world news.
Were you gonna put the link in the show notes so I could,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
I'll
no, that's
get that.
okay. I'll just find it real quick. Oh,
Okay.
there it is. Look how easy that is.
You're
Thank
wonderful.
You,
All right, we'll catch you on the other side. Oh, not too bad. Chester Bennington, former lead singer of Linkin Park, playing with Stone Temple Pilots, which I thought was very cool.
Yeah.
So we're on to the second half of the show, and let's see, what are you drinking today, Free?
Water at the moment.
I broke out the old Leafy.
Nice.
Leafy. Blonde. Oh, that is so good. So good. All right, let's get into this week's stick style because there's a lot to cover.
Gaming.
So this week, we're going to talk about the Xbox Games Showcase. and there's a lot. They announced a lot. So let's just get into it. I'm sure there's some stuff that's missed. Go look at the link in the show notes. That'll definitely help you decipher what the hell we're talking about most of the time. So first up is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. This one takes place in the 90s. We're going to have 16 new multiplayer maps. It's going to be due out October 25th. So taking it in the 90s, you're going to have Bush Sr. as the president, which is going to be kind of cool. You have Doom the Dark Ages. This is the origins of the Doom Slayer. Think of it as a prequel. You get a boomstick and a shield. And it looks awesome. And I can't wait to try it. They said that's coming out 2025, so you're going to have to wait till next year. But there is some clips out there now. Take a look. It just looks really like a lot of fun. We're going to have State of Decay 3. No release date on that yet. Dragon Age, The Veil Guard.
Any of those?
What was that?
Have you played any of the State of Decay?
I think you and I played one of them. I do believe. No?
Yeah, I think maybe we gave the second one like a look at one point, but I don't remember playing a lot of it.
No, I don't remember playing a lot of it either. Dragon Age, The Veil Guard. You're going to have 7 companions to recruit.
There's got to be something there. They're releasing a third one, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, come on. They're not always great. Let's look at Mass Effect franchise, which we'll get into later. But the Mass Effect franchise, I mean, by the time they hit Andromeda, that thing was just done. It was awful.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they kept going. You're going to have Starfield's Shattered Space DLC. We finally saw the first video for that. That's going to be dealing with the House of Varun, their hidden homeworld. You're going to get new weapons, new outfits. That's going to be later on this summer, they said. So within the next couple of months, you're going to see that downloadable content drop. Fallout 76, the Appalachians. Come on, Fallout 76 is super hot right now, so why not jump on that bandwagon? This time they're going to let you play as a ghoul, which is kind of cool. That's going to be coming in 2025 with some updates to 76 trickling in between now and then. So you're going to get little updates because the franchise is smoking hot right now.
Yes,
Another game is going to be South of Midnight. It's going to be a third-person action, reality, and fantasy. That's going to be released in 2025. Perfect Dark. This is a long-awaited reboot of the spy thriller. Looks great. No release date yet on that. World of Warcraft, The War Within. Another expansion pack for Warcraft. That's going to be out August 26th. There's a juggernaut that just keeps running, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just constantly. You can't even get mad at it. Age of Mythology Retold. You're going to have gods, monsters, humans. They all collide. That's going to be out September 4th. Metal Gear Solid Delta
I'm
Snake
looking forward
Eater.
to that one.
Which one?
Age of
Metal Gear?
Mythology.
Yeah. When you have gods, monsters, and humans all colliding, that looks fun.
Well, did you ever play the original Age of Mythology?
No.
Just term. It's okay. Yeah. What were the previous ones called? Oh, I can't believe I just blinked on that. It'll come to me. Anyway, it's real time, you're gathering resources, you're upgrading your units, you're building buildings, you're, blah, 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 all that. But
Like Civilization?
Kind of, sort of. Holy crap. I cannot believe I just
It'll come to you.
blanked on the name. Age of Empires.
Oh, okay. Okay.
1, 2, and 3, right?
Yeah.
And then Age of Mythology was based around the Greek, gods time frame.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of gameplay, and to see what they're going to do with that, with the way modern gaming is.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Very interested to see how that looks and feels.
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is going to be a carryover from the original PlayStation 2 release. Besides gameplay and graphic updates, you'll be able to switch between the original look and the updated look, kind of like Halo did, where you could switch between the two looks, which I always thought was the coolest friggin' thing. Metal Gear is going to be out sometime later this year. Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred.
What's that for a little slap in the face, Sonny?
Diablo 4's Vessel of Hatred is going to be out
Metal
October
Gear
8th.
was one of the best games that Sony had going for how long?
Yep.
And now it's on Xbox.
Too bad, so sad. They're doing it to themselves.
A dead horse.
Fable, still in development, but they're looking at it to be released next year. So you saw a little showcase on that. Sea of Thieves, you're finally going to get the flamethrower ship your heart's been desiring on July 25th. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now, this game is set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. And some people, and the reason why it's set in between those two is because in chronological order, Temple of Doom is actually before the other two movies. Temple of Doom takes place before Raiders of the Lost Ark. That game is still on track to be released this year. Fragpunk, which is a new 5-on-5 shooter. This one has game modifier cards for each match. So you run a game modifier card that makes your bullets explode, or maybe gives you insight into seeing around corners and stuff. It looks like legal cheating is what it looks like. You can do chain reaction of different things. You could do a world flip, which I thought was exciting when you saw that in the video. You're also going to have Flight Simulator 2024. Yep, more planes. That's going to be out November 19th. Assassin's Creed Shadows, which we talked about on the show before. Looking forward to that on November 15th. Life is Strange Double Exposure. That's set several years before the first game, kind of like a prequel, and that's going to be October 29th. Mecha Break, because, I mean, who doesn't love a mech warrior game? Massive Arsenal with customizable mechs. That's going to be in August. Microsoft also announced that they are working on the next-gen console. But for now, they talked about getting away from physical media, which, again, we've all seen that coming. Doing this, they are offering a new Series X 1 terabyte white Xbox with no CD slot at $450 price point. The black one's still going to be available that has the CD slot, and that's going to come with 2 terabytes of storage, and it's going to run you $600. But they are definitely pushing to the digital media, which I think is fine. I was going to talk about the next gen version, but it's exactly what you'd really expect. Like, they touched on it in the showcase, but it's exactly what you think. Newer Wi-Fi, updated hardware, new PSU. Like, it's all exactly what you'd expect. It's just a newer version. We're getting to that point now where it's just a newer hardware version, and not really talking about it that much because everybody's using the same thing.
Well, we're in one of those periods where, I mean, you see this where they have a breakthrough in architecture and it changes everything. And then it's just for the next couple years, whatever. It's just improvements on that level.
Right.
And that's where we're at right now. They haven't had the next breakthrough yet.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Phil Spencer also hinted that they're actually working on several designs of a handheld device, which I am very interested to see what they're going to do. When it comes out, they're going to have all the bases covered. You're going to have PC, you're going to have handheld, you're going to have console, and you're going to have mobile with their Play Anywhere. Yeah. So they're going to have all the bases covered, and to have a handheld by Microsoft, like a mini Xbox, I think that's a very smart play. And honestly, the next step, you have to see the evolution. If they come out with a handheld, the next step is simply using that handheld in a dock on your TV. You don't need any physical media anymore, so why not just dock that thing like Nintendo does? Just don't do it like Asus did it, with a giant dongle that connects to a giant box that you have to keep on your coffee table and then run another long wire HDMI to your TV. That's not the way to do it. But I feel Xbox will come out with something smart, similar to the Nintendo. But one more thing moment was the best, Free. The one more thing moment that they stole from an Apple announcement was my personal favorite of the entire showcase. And I couldn't stop smiling, and it took everything in my power not to just call you at work and tell you to drop everything you're doing.
Okay.
Gears of War E-Day.
Yeah.
Young Marcus and young Dom on Emergence Day. So we get to play through Emergence Day.
Yep.
The day the Locust came out.
And I hate that you're gonna have to play through it as Dom, but
What?
oh, you don't remember the bet apparently.
No. Wait a minute. What? I don't remember the what?
The bet that we had.
No.
And
What
you
bet do we
lost.
have?
And anytime there was a new Gears that had Dom and Phoenix in it, you had to play as Dom, and I got to play as Phoenix. You don't remember that?
I do now. Wish I didn't. That's
that
not
was easy.
fair.
I just made that up.
Really?
Yeah.
I fucking hate you so much. I really do. Why do I keep doing this to myself? So this game, E-Day, Gears of War E-Day, takes place 14 years before the original
you can
game.
continue to play as Phoenix. It's okay.
Oh, thank you. There's no release date on this yet, but it doesn't matter because every Gears fan just immediately was like, hell yeah. It is going to be grittier and scary. So people don't realize that when the first Gears came out, it was actually kind of scary. Like there was a lot of moments that you were like, oh, damn. Or, made you a little jump scare action.
Well,
this game's
they did such a good job with the game that it was so immersive in that aspect that you really, you're like you said, jump scare. You're coming around a corner and then, what is that?
Yeah.
Like the first time you got to encounter a berserker and your heart rate spikes because you have no idea how to kill this thing.
Yeah, and I'm super excited for it. And another thing that was super exciting in gaming this past couple of weeks. Now we've had a lot for the people that are playing stick style. There's been a lot. I mean, we're notorious Starfield fans, Gears of War fans. We love the gaming, but we don't get into too much other gaming. And I know we get ridden a lot for that. Why don't you play this or why don't you try that? Well, it just doesn't work for us. It doesn't work for Fremo and I and our schedule and Fatal to play World of Warcraft. We appreciate the shit out of that game. Great game. It's been around forever. And the thing's still trucking along, but we don't have time. I said it earlier in previous episodes about the new Star Wars game. I want to play as a scoundrel. I like that idea. I just don't know if I have the time. I mean, I'm putting in hours into Helldivers and Starfield. I can't add another game to that. And speaking of, this is what makes these games that we're playing. And you can join us on Stick Style. Just, hit us up at Chris Phoenix on any platform. And we'll love to play with you because these games not only keep evolving, but they're actually taking their time and doing it right. Starfield is smart. Bethesda's doing that right. There is a lot to do. I've done I didn't even tell you, Frey. I've done all 10 of the Starfield Plus modes now. You can keep going, but after 10, you don't get anything. So I've gone down that path, and now I'm playing the whole story again, where Fremo went the other way and just kept on the first one and is doing everything on that first one to completion. So it's very good. Then you got the Helldivers. Helldivers is continuously throwing you a curve for their story. This past week,
I don't know if I told you real quick on Starfield. Not only is my character just OP like crazy at this point.
Yeah.
I jumped into a Star System the other day, and the wife decided she needed to talk about something right then.
Yeah.
So I just set the controller down, and we were talking, and then out of the corner of my eye, I look over, and like 4 or 5 ships had jumped in.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to replay that. Nope, my ship killed them all.
Automated. Nice. And now you have mods in Starfield, which is also exciting. But Helldivers gave us a little twist this past week with a moral dilemma. Again, wonderful how they're doing this. You have to work together to save sick children. Huh?
Was it really a dilemma?
Well, to people like you, it was. See, you had a choice, people. You had a choice between working together to save sick children from certain death or unlock the MD-17 anti-tank mines.
That's not a dilemma. That's not
Really?
That's not even really a choice.
Okay, which choice did you make?
Well, I mean, I found one comment on here which kind of sums it up. We can create more kids. We need the mines now.
That's so wrong. That is so unbelievably wrong. That is wrong.
And it
Summer
wasn't
State
sick kids. It was civilians stuck at a children's hospital.
which would have sick kids.
Probably, but they also would have been given an evacuation order. It's not like this was a surprise.
Somebody else posted in the comments that surely after we save the kids, because that's kind of what ended up happening, that we're going to get something anyway. And the first comment was, "Yeah, Joel, don't play like that."
Yeah, and
You made that choice.
And what happened after the civilians were saved?
In the real world or in the game?
In the game.
In the game, we still had to go and not a whole lot happened from what I recall.
Yeah. We didn't get any stratagem booster perks.
Nothing.
Which, if we had gone the other way, we'd have gotten.
Right. But there was a chance that neither could happen. I mean, it's just, that happened before where we just failed. So we could have just failed them both. But we did save. They did make it.
Go for the mines.
Arrowhead did make a sizable donation to Save the Children charity after once we saved the children on it. There was also a major update. First, there was the Viper Commandos War Bond, which is very cool. Though I do think it takes away from the space feel a little bit, because it looks a lot like a Call of Duty skins. You got jungle cosmetics, a skull mask, a throwing knife. Those are standouts on that War Bond. Then you have the patch, which fixed over 100 changes. You got invite-only lobbies now. Super samples are available at difficulty 6 instead of difficulty 7. All centuries are buffed. Just about every stratagem got buffed, except the ones I use, of course. The guard dog got increased damage, so Fremo, you're screwed.
Yay.
For those who don't know, and if you haven't watched the video clips on YouTube for Stick Style, I don't know why my guard dog hates Fremo the way it does.
It's not your guard dog. It's guard dog in general. If I carry one, if somebody else jumps in and has one, it doesn't matter. I can't run fast.
That's true.
My
That
sprint
one's
is
still
slower than
weird.
Everybody's in the game, and I don't know why. I can put on all light armor, don't carry any heavy weapons, and my sprint is slower than this guy over here carrying heavy armor, guard dog backpack, and two boulders, one in each hand.
Yep. Yeah, it's a mystery. I don't know how that happened.
I am a guard dog magnet.
You are. There's a lot of these, but my favorite fix out of all of them is that the fire tornadoes will no longer track you. That makes me very happy.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Why?
Because it was fun watching them chase you around and burn you to a crisp.
It did suck.
I could literally we pop up in the middle of a fire tornadoes, and Phoenix was like, "Get out of there, get out of there!" And I'm good. I'll just stand right here, and I just stand in one spot as they go around, all around, chasing Phoenix.
Chasing me.
I never have to move.
Yeah, this. So we were talking about all these games, and we do play these games selectively. We do play other games and try them, but we don't really get into them. But let's talk about what the top 10 games being played right now. And this is just research from MPD for the week ending June 1st. So let's run through this because I find this quite interesting. The PlayStation 5 top 10. Number 10, Destiny 2. Then Minecraft, Madden 24, Roblox, Multiverses, GTA 5, X-Defiant, which is a great game, NBA 2K24, Fortnite, and number 1 on the PlayStation 5 is Call of Duty. Kind of figured that didn't surprise me. Then you got Xbox, number 10, Madden 24. Then you got Rainbow Six Siege, Multiverses, NBA 2K24, GTA 5, Minecraft, Roblox, X-Defiant, Call of Duty, and then number 1 on Xbox for the month was Fortnite. Very similar, both of those lists for both consoles. Very, very similar. But I think where true gaming pulse is, you can have all the consoles you want. And the consoles are great, but the true gaming pulse, I feel, comes from Steam. Because there's so many different games that you can play on Steam. So the Steam top 10 was interesting. Number 10 was Rainbow Six. Then you got Fallout 4, Dota 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, Multiverses, Rocket League still big, Destiny 2, Helldivers 2, and number 1 still is Counter-Strike. That game will never die.
That game, the community around that game is phenomenal.
Yeah. It's never going to die. You're always going to be able to find Counter-Strike to play. Always.
Yep.
Always. So 2 quick items to wrap up this segment this week. First thing was Mass Effect. We were talking about Mass Effect before, and apparently running in Mass Effect all over that damn Citadel was a lie. Designer John Ebinger stated that on the Citadel, because of the hardware constraints, you didn't actually run faster. They just changed the field of view so that when you looked like you were running faster, you didn't actually run faster, which made it so damn difficult in that game to hang around on the Citadel because it took you forever to run across it.
Well,
They
apparently, it's not just Mass Effect. The BioWare studio has been doing this in many other games at other times as well to give an illusion of speed.
Yeah, and they did. I mean, we knew that in Mass Effect, the elevator rides were the hidden way that they were doing load times or hiding load times. But I think when I read this, it irked me because I spent a lot of time running across that Citadel, and that was definitely frustrating. The last thing I want to bring up this week in the game segment in Stick Style is, why is there a sim for drug dealers? Now, we've created Sims for everything. You can sim a garden. You can play The Sims. You can have Sim Cities, Sim roller coasters, Sim trains. Why do we need a drug empire management sim?
Burger shacks.
Why do we need a drug empire management sim?
Well, I mean, why not?
We already have GTA. All right, let's get to for what it's worth. And as much as we've talked this entire show about the list of things and announcements and all the happy shit, this truly made me chuckle this week. And that is the constant battle between North Korea and South Korea. And I don't mean shooting and killings and kidnappings and anything like that. I'm saying the passive aggressive shit that they do to each other sometimes is precious. So, North Korea, you never stop impressing people. They decided to send about 3,500 balloons in total, carrying bags of trash over to South Korea. It is the most 12-year-old thing to do ever. And now in typical North Korea fashion, though, only about 1,000 out of the 3,500 made it.
Right.
Kind of like they're rockets. But I just thought it was funny that, they have these balloons with trash floating over their enemy. And how does South Korea respond? By starting their loudspeaker campaign again.
Yeah.
Wall of speakers blasting K-pop and world news, because they don't get world news in North Korea because everything's protected.
And K-pop. They don't get anything in North Korea.
There's nothing. So blasting K-pop and world news. I'd like to step it up a notch. I personally would help out South Korea by stepping it up a notch. I'd be blasting like a constant Rick Astley. Rick roll the shit out of North Korea. And then at night, just play Sally, that girl. All night long. The worst song ever created.
They may cave.
They may cave. They may.
They may give if you did that. That's interesting. I don't know why I've never thought of using that as a tactic.
It's a great tactic. Great tactic. All right. Well, it is Father's Day, and I'm sure that I'm going to have
Happy Father's
people,
Day to all the fathers.
Yes, Happy Father's Day.
Great grandfathers. And if there are any great grandfathers there, Happy Father's Day to you as well.
If there's any great grandfathers, Happy Father's Day. All right. You got anything else this week?
I do not.
All right. That's it for this week. Tense down. Show's over. So you can find more of this garbage at bgfgonline.com. You can also send us an email with your questions or suggestions at bgfgshow@gmail.com. Find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast, Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podchaser, and YouTube. Thank you for listening.